Anuradha Madam. Now I request Dr. T. Anuradha Madam to introduce the resource person for this session. Now hand over the proceedings to Anuradha Madam.
Okay, sir.
Welcome, sir. Ramki, sir. Welcome.
One. Good evening, everyone. It's my honor and privilege to introduce our esteemed resource person for today's session is Mr. Ramki Palle. Mr. Ramki Palle, a distinguished leader with over 30 years of experience in the IT industry. Mr. Ramki Palle has an unparalleled ability to identify and leverage new trends in the rapidly evolving world of technology. His career journey has traversed multiple technology paradigms, including client-server systems, the internet, big data, cloud computing, and the latest advancements in a generative AI. Mr. Ramki Palle holds an MTech in computer science from the University of Hyderabad, equipping him with a solid foundation for his extraordinary journey in technology. Currently, he serves as the CEO of Perforce Technologies, leading enterprise customers in implementing agentic AI-based solutions. He has worked as a vice president of Gen AI at Integer Telecom. He successfully implemented a generative AI solution that reduced costs by 70% in a complex business workflow. In his role as a lead solutions architect at NetApp, he headed the adoption of Apache Spark and Kubernetes across major public cloud platforms, including AWS, Azure, and GCP. From developing data management platforms at Cubic Transformation Systems to building enterprise data warehouses at Walters Kulver, Mr. Ramki Palle's expertise has shaped projects that power global business. His journey began as a software engineer at SQL Star International, where he steadily climbed the ranks to become practice head. He then co-founded Transdomain Technologies, scaling the startup from a 5-member team to a robust 60-member workforce. Throughout his career, Mr. Palle has contributed significantly to some of the world's top consulting firms and Fortune 100 companies, delivering innovative solutions and mentoring high performing teams. Today, as the CEO of Perforce Technologies, he continues to pioneer cutting-edge solutions powered by agentic AI workflows, further cementing his status as a thought leader in the tech industry. We are incredibly fortunate to have Mr. Ramki Palle with us today to share his valuable insights and expertise. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Mr. Ramki Palle. Thank you, sir.
Can I start, Nagesh?
Yes, you can start. Now I request you to start the session.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Anuradha Garu, for that kind introduction. Let me share my screen and then we'll start the presentation. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to you all. This is a great privilege for me to talk to the esteemed academia people. I never worked in academia. I always worked in industry, but I always cherish my experience with people in academia. Thank you again for this opportunity. So initially, I gave employing multi-agent framework, but in 2 months, 3 months, the agentic AI framework seems to be catchy word. So it's the same thing, employing agentic AI frameworks. Let me minimize this video. Okay, I'm going to hide the video now. Okay, so employing agentic frameworks in building generative AI applications. So when I give this topic, I wonder how the academia will take this. This is very bleeding edge technology, and we always hear this what do you call it, feedback or criticism, whatever we call, that the universities and colleges are not producing people for the industry needs. I take that with a pinch of salt, not even pinch of salt, with loads of salt. The reason is this, that as Anuradha madam mentioned, that I did my master's in University of Hyderabad in 92, 93, and we had both MTech in computer science and MTech in artificial intelligence, right? And for the folks who are in AI, MTech in AI, they taught natural language processing, knowledge representation, expert systems, computer vision, speech recognition, all these subjects. And then TCS came in the 3rd semester, hired a bunch of people, took them to Madras, Chennai, and put them on mainframe and COBOL. So what does it mean? So because the industry needs COBOL and mainframes, should academia train them in COBOL and mainframe? And on the other end of the spectrum, if you just take generative AI, in 2022, November, the ChatGPT came. And then afterwards, people start talking, prompt engineering is the big thing. And then few months go by, and they say that, okay, prompt engineering anybody can do, but we need to develop applications. Maybe you need to use the APIs exposed by these LLM models. And then few months later, say that, no, we need to develop applications. Let's use wrapper frameworks like LangChain. And then another few months go by, and then they say that no, this is not enough. We should use agentic framework like LangGraph, Crue. So if things are moving so fast, how can we expect the academia people to take it and train the students? So you have this both extreme examples. One is very well technology, one is a bleeding technology. But you cannot keep on changing your curriculum based on these needs. But at the same time, I thought you should know what are the latest happenings that are going on in the industry, not to include into curriculum immediately, but at least to observe the trends and identify a trend that is going to stick for the foreseeable future, so that then you can introduce that into your curriculum. So for that reason, I think people in academia should observe what are the latest trends that are happening out there. So in that way, I think you will help students a lot by adopting those technologies or trends sooner than later. For example, in 90s, object-oriented programming, and later internet, then later cloud, and now generative AI. As you get exposed to these technologies, you can relate what other people are talking about it, and then introduce to your students. Okay, so agentic AI is taking the world by storm now. Last 2-3 months, and everybody is talking about agentic AI now. This is the way to go and develop applications for enterprises as well as for social media. But at this point of time, that is the new buzzword. We will see how it evolves over a period of next 1, 2, and 3 years. So what is an AI agent? AI agent is basically uses AI, for example, the LLMs and the tools to accomplish a goal. Okay, so an AI agent always will have a goal or a task that contains multiple steps, and it uses internally the LLM as the heart. And then all agents are programs or softwares, but all programs are not agents. The agent will have these characteristics. First, it should reason like a human being and break down the tasks. And then it should collaborate, maybe collaborate with other systems, or maybe collaborate with LLMs. It should collaborate, and then it should take an action. An action can be anything: sending an email, writing into Excel sheet. So these characteristics are fundamental to an AI agent. You guys can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you. The slides
Okay.
are also visible.
Okay. And I'm going to give a slide, and I'm going to give a demo too, little bit demo, and the key aspects. I know it is not suggested to give a demo in a live presentation, but I'll try. Okay. Key aspects of agentic AI. What are the key aspects of agentic AI? So autonomy. Autonomy means you don't need to tell it each and every step. Do this, do this, do this. You just tell overall task and then give some instructions to it. Then it should figure out, okay, which tool I should use. What is the next step I should be doing. So that kind of autonomy is there for agentic AI. And then goal-oriented behavior. Goal-oriented means, for example, the demo I'm going to give is, I have these credit card transactions that I'm doing. By the way, those are all real credit card transactions, okay? I have few cards, but as a privacy, I'm just showing demo on one credit card. So I have all these credit card transactions that are happening. I get email on every credit card transaction. Now I want an agent to read my emails, collect the date and merchant and the amount, and then figure out what is the category of that expense and write to a Google worksheet. Okay. So whenever these transactions happen, I just wanted to write it to a Google sheet by categorizing those expenses. So that is a goal I'm giving it to the agent. And then the next aspect is environment interaction. So as I mentioned, it should talk to other systems like Gmail, Google Sheet, or internal systems like SAP or Workday, whatever systems you have in the enterprise, it should interact. And then learning capability. So it should learn from the previous experiences. Then workflow optimization. So you should check, okay, if I take this route, it might take longer, it might fail. So it might checks all the tools that are available and optimize its the steps to take to accomplish or reach that goal. And then multi-agent and system conversation. So an agent should be able to talk to other agents also, like human beings. So it talks, it sends a text, or no, it should conversate. It should make conversation similar to how we make conversation with other human beings. So these are the key aspects of agentic AI. And if you see the Google Trends for AI agents, you see that in the last 6 months, exponentially people are searching for agentic AI. What is it about? How can I use it to accomplish my task? Like that. So people are, spending a lot of time to build applications using AI agents. And these are the some of the you call them vendors, you call them products that are offering developing applications using agentic AI. The semantic kernel, basically there are 3 types. There are the top established cloud companies, like semantic kernel is from Microsoft. So Microsoft has 2 offerings, Autogen and semantic kernel. Big companies, they throw a few things doing the same thing and figure out what sticks in the industry, and then they will push it forward. So they say that semantic kernel is the one that you should take if you want to build applications for enterprises and take to the production, right? And that is from Microsoft. And then Amazon, AWS, they're coming on. They came up with a product called Bedrock Agents. So these are from established cloud providers. And then when you talk about other new entrants, but these are all programming frameworks like LangGraph, QA, Llama Index workflow. These are all new entrants, and as well as early adopters. But these are all very, very programming way of doing things. And then there are other vendors which are trying to see whether they can simplify this programming. So which are coming up with their own UI, and there are a bunch of tools around it, like Semaphore. UiPath is traditionally an RPA company, but they're just reorienting themselves to make it the whole company agentic. So they are building some agent builder kind of tools. So let me quickly give a demo and then come back, and I'll continue the presentation. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay. For giving this demo, I'm using it Semaphore, but any tool is similar. So this one, I have a chat here. Let me, instead of typing it, I already have the text. So let me take it and copy and paste it. So all I'm telling is, go to my email, get all my expenses, and store it in Google Sheet for the month of January. Okay, these are latest transaction that happened using one of my credit cards. Okay, and then once you write the Google Sheet, then give me that link to me. Okay, that's what I'm asking. So see what it does. So basically, it is going to my Gmail, searching my emails for a specific sender. So it figured out, these are all the emails that are related to my expenses. And then we should go to internet to figure out who are these merchants and what type of category they are. Are they in transportation? Are they in grocery? Or are they in subscription, what is the kind of business these merchants are involved in. So it tries to get that information from internet. And then it should create a Google spreadsheet, create a sheet, and then it should write the transactions to that and give me the link. So let's see. So now it is creating a spreadsheet. By the way, let me show you that. Okay, show that. And then it is running and creating the worksheet in the spreadsheet. And then it is adding the rows, the expense rows to that worksheet. If we have time later in this presentation, I can also show how to build this. And now it says I successfully extracted the expense from your emails and stored it. And this is the link. Okay, now let us see. Let's click on that link. So these are all the transactions that happened using one of my credit cards from that, and it is the date, and then it's merchant, and then it expense category, and what is the amount here. Okay, so you might wonder what is. So let me show you the where it has written. It's not here, so let me refresh that. See this? So this created in 8:27. My time is 8:28, so I just created this. So if you go here, what is the secret sauce? What is that I did? So this is the runbook editor. So this is where I explained what it should do. Okay, so I gave an objective, and then I gave some context, and I asked it to name the sheet as January 2025 if it belongs to the month of January, and then I gave some steps what it should do. It should go to this email and find the emails from this sender, extract the content, and then determine the expense types. And then I gave a couple of examples. So this is this is how my email looks like. And I said, this is what you should store. I gave a couple of examples. So this is called few shot example. Few shot means you are giving few examples so that it can learn. Okay. So this is, so you just see this, right? And how long it takes this time to develop? No, it's not much time. It's maybe it's about 30 minutes. You can develop this. But assume this now. This is going to email. It is connecting to Google Sheet. It is trying to figure out the expense types. So it is all the agent is doing all these things on its own. Okay. Let me go to my presentation. Okay. Close that. Any questions here? Maybe you can ask questions even at the end also. So and then so how this evolution of AI happened. So from task automation to super intelligence. Okay, so we are not there yet at the right end, but we are in the beginning of the middle part, agentic AI. So RPA, robotic process automation, right? So that one is used to, that is very, very rule based. So you have to go to this website, see this label information, copy that, open my application, enter this text into the text box which has this label. So you have to tell each and everything. Excuse me. Or you can record and replay. You can record and say, this is what you should do, and then it learns and it does same thing again and again and again. There is no intelligence there, just rules. And then Gen AI came. Initially, people start using ChatGPT. So basically, at this point of time, Gen AI is predominantly used for personal improvement of productivity. Okay, so you can ask questions. You can tell okay, write a synopsis, or you can say this is the YouTube video, an hour of video. Can you make a summary out of it? Maybe a 200, 300 word summary out of it. So that kind of things you can use in Gen AI. And then in the agentic AI, like I showed, it should collaborate. It is an actor, collaboration actor, the multiple systems. And then it should achieve a goal that you define with some autonomy. And then when you're talking about AGI, that is artificial general intelligence, that is what all big companies are trying to achieve. So that one is almost like it reasons and thinks and acts like a human. So let me give an example. So you are driving from office or from work to home, and you call. You have a robot at home, and you say, "Hey, can you make biryani for 10 people?" Right? And then the agent, the robot, should identify what are the ingredients that go, how much quantity it should take for each ingredient to make for 10 people, and then figure out how to make it, and then it makes it. And then it also figures out that you are asking for 10 people. Oh, you cannot hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. It's audible.
Okay. Okay. So, and you are calling 10 people. That means, it is not, you may be having some guests. So it vacuum cleans your house. Maybe it will go to a grocery store or nearby store, get some flowers, and tidy up the whole thing, set up the table. You didn't tell all these things to it, right? You just tell make biryani for 10 people. That's all the instructions. But it figured out all these things, and it does. By the time you come, everything is spick and span, and everything is ready. That is the AGI we are talking about. People say we will be there in 10 years. People say we will be there in 20 years. Some people say we will never be there. So it's anybody's guess when we will achieve that AGI. Okay? But that is very, very interesting term. You will be hearing a lot in future. AGI, AGI, AGI. Okay? And then in the next step, we don't even know what it is. Artificial super intelligence. That means they have to surpass human consciousness. Or average, it cannot surpass maybe a saint's consciousness, but it surpasses the average human being's consciousness level, and it is better than a human. That is too far. We don't know. It is just a sci-fi at this point of time. But agentic AI is here. AGI, people are talking. they're trying to achieve. How much they will achieve, we don't know, and we will know about in 10, 15 years. But this is the evolution that is happening. And people who are in the industry, where is the big opportunity, right? So you'll go from bottom to top. First, the semiconductors, like, the NVIDIAs of the world, which are, churning GPUs like crazy. Okay. So there is an opportunity there, but there are very, very few players out there, and it's not easy to enter. And then there is a cloud infrastructure, cloud, and whenever you develop these applications, you have to host somewhere, and obviously cloud is the first thing people are trying to host it. So cloud players have a play here in this game. And then foundation models. This is obviously the OpenAI, Anthropic, and the Meta of the worlds, where they train on humongous body of text, spanning millions and millions of dollars, develop these LLM models, expose it as API, and they make money out of that API. And of course, they make some money from the UI like ChatGPT. And then on top of it, you have applications. You will have humongous number of players here doing various things. Like the other day, Monday, Uma was showing, right? Various applications out there where you can use for your productivity gains. Like that, I just put some sample here. It's nothing specific about these companies here. After 2 months, the whole companies can be replaced with some other companies. Still, there is no difference with this slide. So there will be hundreds of companies will be there. Some of them will become very big in the next 2-3 years. Some will get acquired. Some, maybe few might go out of business. We don't know. But that is where a lot of opportunity is going to be there for bigger companies. And on top of it, you have these consulting companies providing services around across all these layers. And then let us talk about some time frames here, a couple of slides. Okay. So thinking about adoption. So 2023. Actually, 2022 November, ChatGPT came, which took the entire world as a storm. And the 2023, people started learning what it is about, and then experimenting, talking to the LLMs, and you see, are there any use cases that we can solve? No, that is what people spend. And on the technology side, it's all about chatbot. It's all conversational, isn't it? And then training the LLMs. The big guys are training their LLMs, and some industry-specific people are taking that foundation models and fine-tuning those models on their on their specific data. And of course, everybody was looking for GPU clusters to train these models. And in 2024, people started seeing some outcomes from some business outcomes from the initial use cases. And then they started playing with agents, how do they work? And then on the technology side, they just put into production. In the 2025, that is this year, this is all 2025 is going to be agents, and a lot of applications will go into production this year. And then we talked about RPA, and then so what is the convergence? How the convergence is happening between the RPA and generative AI? Okay, so in 17 to 20, so the attention paper that other speakers talked about previously, that came, and then people started building the foundation models. GPT-1 came, but of course it was never exposed to the public, but they were building it. So that is what it's happening until 2020. It was still not public. These companies were doing internally. And then when 2022 November came, the ChatGPT came into picture. And everybody got to know this is, what is this? This is answering like crazy. So this is people got surprised very much with the ChatGPT. And then on the RPA side, they were doing record and replay, and then by the time 2022 came, they got reasonably success in doing OCR, particularly with some structure with the documents. They were able to do it. And in 2023 and 24, nobody cared about RPA. They all said RPA is dead, and don't even care. But on the Gen AI side, there is so much was happening. So RAG means retrieval augment generation. So if you have a bunch of documents, PDF documents, you can put it in the vector database. Basically, you split those documents into some chunks and put it there in a database, and you ask a question instead of checking, instead of checking the actual terms, it sees the meaning of your question, and it goes to the chunks and say meaning, and it compares the meaning, and it brings that relevant chunks and give it to a foundation model, and give your question answer to that, and get the answer and show it to you. So that is very, very popular pattern in 2023. RAG is very, very popular at the time. And GPT-4 came. Of course, they are churning out new models every 6 months. Then 2024 came, and then it says that, okay, you will call tools now. So tools means you want to do some specific task. You tell the LLM, these are the tools available to me, which tool I should be using. Then it tells, these are the tools used to accomplish this task. That is coming in 2024. And in 2025, both are converging. That's where we are in the AI agency. Any questions at this point? Hello? Hello?
Sir, you can proceed, sir. No more.
Okay, no questions. Okay. And if you zoom out a little bit, what is the value is there for each tech that came in the last 40 years, right? In the 90s, you have ERPs, SAP, Oracle Financials, all these business apps came. And then the complexity is less. Complexity of automation is less. Value also is okay. There is a reasonable value. And then in 2000, then a lot of business process management tools have come. And in 2010, 10 means 10 to 20, then robotic process automation, big data, cloud, all these capabilities came. And then, the value also increased. Now we are in 20s. Now we have Gen AI, LLMs, agents. This is going to have enormous value in the next 10 years. So that means all enterprises will have an agent strategy going forward. Some are early adopters, some are late adopters, but everyone will have an agent strategy, AI strategy. So what are the waves of value for enterprise agents? Okay. So the short term initial, people will try to cut costs. So if it is a lot of manual work is happening, and that is where they will cut costs. Okay. So that is the focus initially. And I don't think we should worry too much about it. That's how the world works, about too much worry about job losses. For example, I came from a village, right? When I was a small kid, there were people who make pots with mud and sell those pots. After some time, then people started using with various metals, aluminum, plastic, they started using it. Then they don't have those profession anymore. Now they are using, they're construction workers and the people are studying and becoming software engineers. So that profession is gone. That doesn't mean that they don't have other opportunities. So similarly, there are going to be some disruption, but there will be other opportunities in the AI dominated world. And then the next step people will be doing is understand that protect against losses. This is like fraud detection can be one thing. That is going to be major trustees. People are already started, but those things will go into production in the medium term. And then the next thing is how they can generate more revenue using AI. So the revenue generation is going to be a big push in the long term. So this is how the value chain will go up. And then enterprise AI agent requirement. So if enterprises are looking for building agents, what are the requirements they should be looking for? One, without even mentioning, it should talk to an LLM model, right? LLM means, large language model, which is foundation model, also called foundation model. So it should talk to that because that is the brain. Okay, that is what will tell what is the next step. So, and then you will have human in the loop. For example, if you are going to tell, okay, go and update my database or delete this information, you just don't want to give that much power to an agent. You will say, okay, confirm with me before you're doing this action. Okay, that means you are bringing human into the loop. Okay, so that capability should be there. And then you should have a line of sight and access to data source. Data source means, let's say you have Oracle database. It should see it, it should access it. You have some documents on Amazon S3. So you should have access and it should see it and it should have access to it. So whatever data sources you have and that is required to the access required to those data sources to complete your job, it should have that line of sight and access to that. And then you should have line of sight and access to your backend systems like SAP, Workday, ServiceNow, all these systems. It should be able to connect so that it can talk to those multiple systems and do the work. Then centralized command and control. So if you have multiple agents deployed with multiple teams, so you should have a centralized systems to see that how these agents are performing, how to deploy this at various times. So you enterprise expects that kind of command and control as part of this. And then security, governance. Security means you ask a question and you should see whether you are entitled to know that information. For example, you ask the salary of your subordinate, it might give, but if you ask the salary of your superior, it might say that, okay, you are not entitled to know this information. That kind of security. And then obviously enterprises, they don't want to lock in to a particular vendor. You cannot eliminate locking to some extent, but they should be enough open so that if something goes wrong, they should be moving to a different vendor reasonably with less pain. So those kind of requirements are there at enterprises. And if enterprises wants to build or wants to venture into building an application with the agentic AI approach, what should be the anatomy of that? What is a good use case? The good use case is, either continuous processing, like my credit card transactions, observing and writing into Google Sheet. And the next step in that example is, once I get a credit card transaction, maybe it can ask the user, hey, can you upload the receipt related to the expense? So it can even further read the receipt and write the details of the receipt. So if you go to grocery store, it only tells, I went to a grocery store called Kruger and I spent, let's say, $100. But it didn't say what is that I bought. That is there in the individual receipt. So it brings the human in the loop. Ask, hey, can you upload your receipt? It uploads the receipt and then it reads all that, and then it puts that, okay, you bought milk, bread, cheese, or whatever you bought in that store, and each one is how much it costs. So that one continuous processing is there, or it can be scheduled, scheduled every day, week, hour, that requirement. And then you should find a use case where you can measure the output, so there should be a goal for that process that you are trying to implement using agentic AI. And third thing is, it should be clearly defined end-to-end process. So like the example that I gave, read from Google email, go to the internet to get the categories, write it to Google Sheet. That's very simple, but there can be complex workflows, but you should define those end-to-end process, what should happen. Then either it should be previously impossible to automate, or it was very cost prohibitive to automate. Those are the use cases you should take. Then dealing with structured and unstructured. So for example, in that use case that I showed is reading an email, which is very unstructured. But it should deal with both structured data and unstructured data. And of course, complex documents like PDF, 100-page documents, it should figure out. And then it should involve more than one application system. So like Salesforce, SAP, Workday, ServiceNow, and your internal systems. So it should involve more than one application. So that is a good use case for using agentic AI to build a solution. So why agentic AI? So if you use, let's say, ChatGPT, you ask a question, it gives a response. Okay, maybe you can refine that prompt, but still it is you ask and you are getting. So what was that we were doing earlier? So before even this, we were using Google search. So if you need something before 2022, you go to Google search, hey, I'm looking for this. Then it spits out a bunch of URLs on the screen. You click each one and say, hey, this is a useless URL. Go to the next one. Okay, this might be useful. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. So you will visit few websites, and then in your mind, you have to relate all these things and come up with your own answer. Okay, that's how you are doing Google search. It looks so arcane now, how you were doing earlier. Now, if you have a question, you just ask, okay, this is my problem. what is the solution. So for your specific question, it is going to give an answer specific to your question. That's what the latest, the conversational agents like ChatGPT are achieving. So, and the next thing is the agentic workflow. So if you say, write a research paper on this topic, and these are the inputs. Like I mentioned, I asked the question. So these are my tables, and these are my charts in Excel. So I have the data, and I have charts built in my in Excel corresponding those tables, and this is my domain. You write a research paper that I want to publish. I want to send it to some international magazine. Okay. Now it tries to write it, then it refines itself. Basically, you need to give a little bit more instructions there, but still you are not writing. It is writing your 6-page research paper for you, which is decent enough research paper. Then you can go and change here and there, make sure everything is ready, and then you can send it to the magazine. So the data is still yours, right? So whatever research you did, whatever data you collected, the data is still yours. That is there in your Google Sheet or Excel, wherever, and the charts are yours. But it is writing the whole research paper to for some of the faculty. I observed they can do all this research and get the data and everything, but they cannot write a paper. It is extremely difficult for them to write English text. They sit on it days and days to write that paper. So for that, the agent can help, saying, okay, this is all my data, and this is my domain. These are the sample research papers are already. You just look into it, and these are all the references. Then it creates a beautiful research paper for you, and then you can review it, change here and there. It is not plagiarism, by the way, because it is your data you are using. So so it is not a problem. At least for me, it is not a problem because you are using that as an editor or writer for you, rather than you have the shortcoming of writing a research paper and you are using some other document writer, to take your data and prepare a good research paper for you. Okay, so that is where it's going to help a lot. And I know personally I have that problem, and I always go and ask, okay, prepare a 300 words document for me, and these are all my inputs, and it comes in about 30 seconds with something which is extraordinary. So that is where your personal productivity also will improve with this. And then what are some design patterns, right? So first it should reflect. Okay, reflect means, okay, this is what I'm doing. Am I doing it right? Should I improve? So you should check it, reflect it, and then fine tune it, and then tool use. So what are the tools? Okay, like in that example that I gave, the demo, that there are 3 tools. One tool is to go and talk to the email. Another tool is to do the web search, and the third tool is to go and talk to Google Worksheets. And you might have 10, 20 tools with you, and then you just give a description of each tool, and then it should figure out which tool to use for a given task, right? So you have the toolbox, right? You have screwdriver, wrench, L wrench. We have different kind of things, but based on the job that you are doing, you choose that particular tool, right? Similarly, this is the same thing. You give a bunch of tools to it. It should figure out what tool to use to complete the task at hand. and then plan. So before even starting work, we should plan. Okay, this is what he's asking me to do. How can I do it? What is my plan? So you should plan, use the tools, reflect, and then refine. And then if there are other agents which are out there, which I tell these are the agents available, you can talk to them. Then it can send an English question to it. It's not API call. For API you can do it, but it should be able to do an English question to another agent. Hey, can you give me this? And then you send that question to it, and then it understands your question. It goes to the system's access to that agent, okay, get the data, and then give an English answer back to you, and you take it, and then you go further, right? So this multi-agent collaboration also will be there. These are the design patterns in a agentic AI solution. And what are the components in this? So the components. So basically, it is if you want to give a nutshell definition, AI agent is nothing but LLM plus tools plus memory. That's all it is. Well, if you dig deeper, there are multiple things are there, but if you look at a 10,000 foot, these are the three. So LLMs, so it should talk to LLMs, and then it should be able to use tools, and it should have memory. It can be short-term memory, long-term memory. So and planning and action, obviously, that is what its characteristic is. It should plan and it should act. Okay, so this is the overall architecture of an agent. And then what are the future AI trends that are going to be? Okay. So initially people start using agents, and then they figure out, man, this is eating like millions of tokens. That means it is costing crazy. So that means there's a lot of research is going to be happening there, either how to use local models or how to reduce the price of tokens. For example, if OpenAI charging you at $2.50 for 1 million tokens, and each call, for example, we just asked that get those expenses from January. Let's say it needed 1 million tokens, so $2.5 is gone for each use case. So so people will figure out how to reduce that pricing. So they might come up with new models that cost less. Maybe another model is the GPT-4 mini that costs only, I think, 15 cents per 1 million tokens. So you might want to use the low-priced models to use this agentic workflow. And then today agents, they are using LLM as just to understand what you are signing and then answer your question. That's what you are using. But going forward, even the LLM providers also will try to put more and more agentic capabilities inside the model itself. How they will do it, how they expose it, we will know in the next couple of years. But they will also try to add more and more capabilities at a foundation model level. While these Microsoft, AWS, and a bunch of other companies are trying to build tools to develop agentic applications much easier and faster. Those foundation model guys, OpenAI, Meta, Anthropic, all these people, they will try to add more and more capabilities inbuilt in the foundation models. That's going to happen. And then, of course, data engineering is a subject which is there, for the last 30, 40 years. Initially, they were calling ATAL and data engineering, or whatever you call it, that is going to be there even with generative AI, particularly when you have to manage a lot of text, images, videos, and structured text, and you combine all these things. Data engineering is going to be, it was important, and it is going to be important in future too. And then the text processing. So what happened so far, right? The text we're able to see. We ask a question, it's getting response. That is already happened. And the image processing is also, to some extent, it is there. It is still, I know there are a lot of tools Uma showed another day, but still I don't think they are doing perfectly like what we need. For example, if you give a lot of text and say, put this text in the image, it cannot get the text in the image. You can say, thank you, hello, good morning, happy new year, these kind of things, it can do it. But if you put very specific, let's say, write, welcome to RVR and JC College of Engineering, I don't think it can write. So, so there are some limitations, but it will overcome that part. And then the videos is going to be a bigger applications. That's going to be very, very big. Somebody was asking the other day, hey, can I hum a song, a Hindi or Telugu or Tamil, whatever song? I don't know the lyrics, but I know the tune. I will hum it. Can you play on YouTube? Okay, so that's not there, but that will come. So you hum it to understand that this humming is related to a Tamil song or Telugu song or Hindi song, and this is the song that he is humming. Somebody is joking, like there is a Telugu movie, Paresh Rawal, Chanakshanam, he hums and nobody gets it. But AI will get it, even if you are that bad. So those capabilities, entertainment is a big use case for video in future. And also, you give a description of it, it can create a video for it with a voice that you want, right? Let's say you want to have Dr. Kalam's voice on some of the content you are generating. It can make it. But those are all possibilities, but these things will come. AGI may take 10, 20 years, but these things will come in the next 3 or 4 years. It is 100%. And then, so when enterprises, because I work in enterprise world, so if let's say your college management would like to develop something related to, because your college is an enterprise in a sense. What is the so when you identify use case, how it should achieve that? So it's going to go look at the contracts, look at the content, and look at other documents that you have, and then it can even talk to productivity tools like Google Suite. We just show that, and then you have CRM. I don't know what CRM people are using in India, but here people use Salesforce, HubSpot, right? These are these kind of systems and support tools. So and then you have the workflow management tools like ServiceNow, Workday, and maybe inbuilt risk compliance tools, and other ERP systems like SAP and IDP for payroll processing. You just integrate with all these systems and build a agent-based system with relatively lower cost and fast. You should be able to build an agent-based solution in about 6 to 8 weeks, a reasonable workflow. 6 to 8 weeks. Earlier, first of all, it was impossible to do it. Two, even if somebody is determined to do it, it was very cost prohibitive. It might take 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, we don't know, and still we will not be. There is no guarantee that it works in all cases. But we have reached a state where you are reasonably confident that you can build a system that works with that can be developed in a very short term with reasonable cost. That is where we are. Okay, and that's about it. So, by the way, this image, as you know, it was generated by AI. Any questions?
Sir, good evening, sir. Hello.
I can hear
You
you.
are audible, madam.
Sir, what is the existence of LLMs related to other languages rather than English, like Sanskrit, Hindi, such kind, even foreign languages? If you ask a question in English, definitely it will answer. But what about the other languages' existence? How far the things are possible?
It is very, very good question, madam. So it's a great question because I am very, very good at Telugu language. Even I can translate an English poem into Telugu poem. But the thing is, because these models are trained what is available predominantly on internet, and whether we like it or not, most of the content is in English. Okay, I think that is where the people in education sector have enormous opportunity to do research in local languages. So you will research, and your research will be very, very useful to the people, because not everybody understands English and conversation English. If you go to villages, they cannot do it, but they still need applications. They still need to interact. So two things. One, how can you use audio? Two, how can you use audio in local languages? So these are two important things. I am also doing a lot of checking. So can I ask? So for example, I have a pet project. Tracking election results from 1952 to now. Now from panchayat to, let's say, parliament. Now, if somebody asks in Telugu or Tamil or Punjabi, what it should do, generally the process is, it takes the audio, convert that speech into text, into Telugu. Let's say my mother tongue is Telugu, that's why I'm talking in Telugu, but it can apply to any language. And then translate that text in that local language into English, go to the system, ask that question, get the answer back, translate back into the local language, and then convert that into speech, and then deliver it to the user. in local language. So this is the entire workflow. Okay. Now, so where are the bottlenecks here? One, converting your audio into text. English, it is almost 95, 99%. They achieved this speech to text. So local language is that is where I think people over there are people in in the education institutions should do a lot of research in this area. For example, and when I was doing MTech in Central University in 90s, we had a professor K.N. Murthy, Dr. K.N. Murthy, is a great guy. You know, he was doing already at the time, 90s, how to make the systems understand Kannada and Telugu. He was doing enormous research at the time, at that point of time. He didn't have enough tools at the time. If these tools were available at the time, he would have made wonders. But the tools are available to you. Maybe you need to take some subject and then trying that. Maybe you can take a foundation, open source foundation model, take a bunch of text in the local language, then train it and use it. So that is where I don't think companies in US who are building large language models will care too much about it, but people there should definitely care and train those, and there is enormous opportunity there. And in fact, my guess is these big companies will give research grants also to do the if you guys want to do research in that area. So local language edition is very, very important to these bigger people. For example, if I want to translate some text from English to Telugu, I will not use OpenAI. Okay, I'll go to Gemini, Google Gemini, because I figured out Google Gemini has better capability in Indian language translation. Whereas if it is a different question like English, I'll go to OpenAI because OpenAI models are better equipped than Google Gemini if you are asking a different kind of question. So you need to figure out which tools are there, which models are more useful. At this point of time, I see Google Gemini is better with respect to Indian languages. But my feeling is people local there should do a lot of research in this area. And you have an opportunity to do that research. Maybe AICTE or somebody should go and talk to these companies and get research grants for the universities and colleges, so that you can do your research in an enthusiastic way.
There are a few questions in chat.
Okay,
what
sorry,
is line chain?
Yeah,
what is
I didn't
line
see
chain?
the chat yet. So let me see the chat now. I'm going to, where do I see the, I'm just trying to see where is the chat, okay? Okay, now I see. Okay, not audible, okay. Any open source platform effective for AI agents implementation apart from APR for education students? See, most of the platforms to build agents is open source. So for example, if you want to do programmatic way, you can use LangGraph. Okay. The only cost you will have is maybe LangGraph or QA to that matter. You can build it, but deployment, it costs for you. And of course, LLMs are not free unless you are using an open source LLM and hosting locally. If you are using OpenAI, then you need to pay for those tokens. So you can take to test. You can take LangGraph or QA or any of these programming frameworks and use a local LLM model, which is also free. Of course, you need to have a decent compute power locally to test it. So it is possible without paying to build AI agents. I don't say you can take it to production, but you can at least test it without costing anything. And then what is LangChain? Okay, LangChain is a company. So basically, initially these ChatGPT kind of companies, the interfaces came, right? Those interfaces are provided by the developers of the LLM models, like OpenAI built GPT models, and they wanted to make some money quickly, so they built an interface on top of it, and they gave. And most other people are using it free, but some people are paying $20 per month and using it. And also they are exposed to API, which costs money. So if you are using, let's say, 1 million tokens, some models will cost 15 cents, right? So 15 cents means what, about 12 rupees. But if it is, let's say, 1 million tokens is 12 rupees, so that means 1 lakh tokens is 1.2, and then 10,000 tokens is let's say 12 paise. Let's say 10 paise for about 10,000. 10,000 tokens is about 800 words, right? So if you are sending a call to that, which is about 800 words going and coming, so you'll pay about 10 paise to it. But that's what the model of foundation models. Then LangChain came and said, hey, there are multiple models are there, multiple data loaders are there, multiple systems are there. Can I create a wrapper around it? Okay, so it's basically a wrapper technology. Initially started, so they built classes and objects and other functionality to wrap this complexity and exposed very simple simple way of developing applications, so that you don't need to know, okay, if I have to use OpenAI, this is how I should call this. If I have to use Anthropic, this is how I should call this. If I have to use Llama, I should use that. Or if I want to integrate with this vector database, this is how to do it. This is if I want to use this PDF loader, this is how it should. So instead of figuring out all these things on your own, they built a wrapper on top of it, and underlying they just build all those things. So that has become very, very popular, because obviously as a developer, I don't want to care about all these nitty-gritties of things. I want to develop a solution. So that is where LangChain came in. And then, of course, obviously the agentic, they figured out, agentic was picking up. So then they started building LangGraph as their frameworks. And then observability, I'm going to talk on Friday, is that, they have a tool called Langsmith. So that observability, so basically they make money on LangGraph hosting and Langsmith. LangChain is free. But that is very, very popular framework out there. If you are a developer willing to spend a reasonably longer time to develop an application, but it's more powerful because you are using programming. You can do lot of things compared to other faster development tools. Any other questions?
Any more questions from the participants, please?
What kind of examinations we will be having for the after the end of this?
On the basics of all the generative AI models and applications, only basics. So if you are following all these topics, I don't see a difficulty in passing the test. Only basics, basic definition of prompt engineering, generative AI models, and basic applications.
Okay, so it will
So
be
don't feel tense. It will be an objective test. It is an objective test. Only basics and only you can read from the slides. Slides already slides are available. Definitions and basic identification of models.
Okay, sir. Okay. So it will be on Saturday.
On Saturday. Saturday in Google form. Form will be shared.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
And
Thank you.
everybody has to write. So it is mandatory from AICTE to write the test. Those who write the test only will get the certificate, and we will upload the marks on Monday or Sunday, the test marks. So ensure that you write all the tests before time, so it cannot be extended. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Ramki Palle for accepting.
No, Dr.
Sorry.
I wish I had.
But definitely it is a nice and very good lecture where we have learned the fundamentals of agentic AI. Only from the textbook, AI textbooks, we read that agentic AI. So today we see that that is a fruitful technology which is coming to practice and application side. So really we learned so many key terminologies. Now I request Dr. T. Anuradha Madam to propose vote of thanks for this session. So really we had a good learning experience from your session. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Good evening, everyone. It is both an honor and a privilege to deliver the vote of thanks for today's enlightening session on employing multi-agent frameworks in building generative AI applications as part of our faculty development program. First, let us extend our deepest gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Ramki Palle, for sharing their profound knowledge and expertise on this highly relevant and advanced topic. Your insightful session has not only broadened our understanding of generative AI, but also shed light on the role of multi-agent frameworks in creating smarter, collaborative, and more efficient AI systems. Your detailed explanation of the requirements of enterprise AI agents, including their essential capabilities and the integration into business ecosystems, was truly enlightening. We deeply appreciated your perspective on the fascinating journey of AI from its inception to its current transformative role in industries. Your breakdown of the AI stack and where the biggest opportunities lie provided valuable insights into how business can identify and leverage emerging trends. Your practical advice on AI adoption, including challenges and strategies for implementation, was particularly insightful and will surely help guide us in future endeavors. Your expertise and practical examples have given us a clear vision of how AI can revolutionize enterprises and have left us better equipped to explore this domain with confidence and curiosity. We inspired us to explore innovative ways to incorporate these frameworks into our research and teaching practices. Your ability to simplify the complexity of multi-agent frameworks and connect it with the future potential of generative AI has been immensely valuable. This session has surely equipped us with a solid foundation and motivated us to explore new dimensions in this fascinating domain. A heartfelt thanks to all the participants for their active participation. On behalf of all the participants, I thank you once again, sir, for sharing your time, expertise, and experience with us. We are very grateful for your valuable contribution to this faculty development program. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Before closing the session, I request all the participants to switch on their videos for recording purposes. This session is recorded. Now I request all the participants to switch on their videos for 1 minute. Then they can leave the meeting. Just for closing purposes. So we look forward to your next session. Definitely it will be a good session and interactive session. Thank you very much, Ramki Palle sir, for delivering an excellent lecture. So thank you very much. We would love to see you again. Thank you. Thank you.